Here's me with my little T-Rex on my shirt.
Yeah, there you are.
Kind of thing. Look at that big cargo over there. Boom.
Yeah, that was a big dumpster. They were putting everything in,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, this is what Colin was talking about is that the cleanup starts right away because people want their land back, and so yeah, you really do need to get out there right away to study the damage because it disappears pretty quickly.
And if you look right here, this is a big combine truck that got just yeeted by the tornado. The tornado was just like, yoink.
Yeah, I don't know if that one was lofted or what happened, but yeah, definitely got a lot of damage on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh yeah, we saw several things out there that all damaged.
You can see it's behind.
There's you with a random doorknob. So yeah, I mean it's incredible and tragic, to see someone's home and all their personal effects and everything just shredded and spread across the field. I did find one set of photo negatives that I was able to turn in, so hopefully that was something that meant something to somebody. And then we actually we ended up, while we were volunteering there, we got interviewed on Global News. One of the reporters was there, and he asked us, what brought you guys out here? So we were telling him the story of chasing the tornado, and showed him our YouTube footage, and he was like, wow, can we use that? I said, yep. So we got our footage aired and got interviewed. So
I think I'm the first or one of the first as the 8-year-old in the world that saw an AF1 was on Global News.
Could be. I will say, I think you got just about the best tornado footage ever taken by a 7-year-old. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
And then my friend Daniel, he was actually coming out from Ontario visiting. He'd already planned this way before the tornado, but I recruited him to help us to clean up too. And then this is one of the most amazing things I saw. So right in the middle of all this mangled metal and wood javelin into the ground and all kinds of crazy stuff, there were 2 puzzle pieces put together backwards. Now, I don't know if the tornado put them together or they were already together and somehow the tornado didn't pull them apart, but yeah, it was just the weirdest thing.
Maybe tornadoes are just smart trying to learn how to do puzzles.
Well, obviously they're not very smart. They didn't do it.
Oh, then they're stupid. But they're still cool to look at.
Yeah. And I found this plate. It looks like it has a quote of the golden rule, so that was kind of nice. It felt like empathy was really driving us to be out there helping out. So that this could be our house scattered across the field, which would be nice if people would help us out if we were in that situation. And that's part of the reason we were out there is because we want people to know that we're all one big community. And when somebody gets impacted by one of these events, it kind of happens to all of us. And I think we should all be there for each other. And then I came back in November and actually helped with some of the rebuilding. So Mennonite Disaster Service actually started building a new house for Elisa and her son. And this time with a basement, well-built house with a basement. So if this ever happens again, they actually have shelter and they don't need to flee in a hurry. And there you can see in the background, you can see the trees all snapped there from the tornado. The tornado came through. So after that event, it blew up our YouTube channel and we got kind of famous. So we decided that we need a name for our storm chasing duo.
Yeah. So we put Little Media in Jurassic Park theme, but because it's Little Media is dinosaurs, and then Storm Chasers is in the Twisted font. And then you see we got this big tornado with a little raptor and T-Rex flying around in it.
Yeah, so we live in Drumheller, because Drumheller is famous for dinosaurs. We're surrounded by badlands that are all layers of sediment that were laid down in the late Cretaceous period when there were dinosaurs here on the eastern coast of the island continent of Laramidia. So back in the late Cretaceous, there was a seaway that divided North America in half, and we were just on the eastern coast of that.
Yeah, and there's possibility that there could have been tornadoes on Laramida.
Could be, yeah. So we got lots of evidence for where and when it was marine and when and where it was terrestrial. So here's I love fossils. I go out fossil hunting all the time. So I got lots of photos and stuff. So there's some sea bottom sediments from the Bear Paw Formation from the marine parts that you find cool things like in there, like this straight shelled ammonite of the genus Baculades. So kind of squid-like thing sticking out of a shell. There's a coil-shelled ammonite, Pachydiceras, clamshell. This is actually part of the tail of a mosasaur, a marine reptile. It's actually a marine-adapted varangoid lizard, so think Komodo dragon with flippers. This was actually in the prep lab at the Tyrrell Museum that was helping put this one together. It's actually on display now at the Ground Discovery exhibit. And then we got the terrestrial stuff. So where you have the non-marine environments, you tend to see more complicated layering. Here it's actually folded in funny ways. This is glacial molding. Some pressure from the Laurentide ice sheet coming over, folded up the layers and made it look all funky. There's part of the tail of a hadrosaurus. We got lots of fossils from stuff that lived on land. There's a tooth from an Albertosaurus, like a Tyrannosaurus. I found. There's me working on the lower jaw of a T-Rex at the Tyrrell Museum. And there's T-Dan when he was younger with the upper jaw of a duck-billed dinosaur with all the teeth still in it.
Want to know a funny story? When I was like 1 or 2 years old, we went into the Badlands, and I went out crawling around in the Badlands. I picked up something, gave it to my dad, and it was about the size of my dad's fist. And it was a massive fossil.
Yeah, it was a dinosaur bone. He was 1 year old. He didn't even know how to talk yet. And I just put him down. He toddled off. He comes back and he hands me a dinosaur bone. Wow.
Yeah.
Want to go to the next one? Yeah. So here, we get it one more time. So if you compare Laramidia back then to South America today, there's a lot of parallels. So you've got this north-south range of mountains on the western side, and then you've got these lower lands on the eastern side. Oh, you want to go back one? Oh, why didn't it be shown our tornado? But anyway, but this part of South America today is actually known for tornadoes. It's another miniature tornado alley. So you got your jet streams coming over the mountains there, and you get that lee cyclogenesis, and that's where you get your supercells and tornadoes forming. Now in the southern hemisphere, the supercells and tornadoes and low pressure zones spin the other way, but otherwise it's the same. So that the jet stream coming out of the west heading east. So I'm thinking that maybe back in the late Cretaceous period, when we were closer to the sea, one of the limiting factors for tornadoes in Alberta today is our lack of proximity to a moisture source, because the Gulf of Mexico is a long ways away. Only the Gulf of Mexico was in Saskatchewan. Well, 75 million years ago it was. So, and there's lots of evidence that there are these mass die-offs of dinosaurs. There's these huge bone beds of ceratopsian dinosaurs, horned dinosaurs, and a lot of paleontologists think that those mass die-offs might have actually been caused by tropical storms coming up off the western interior seaway and then moving onto this shallow alluvial plain. And of course, this alluvial plain is it doesn't go very high above sea level. It's a lot like Louisiana today. So you might have had these kind of Hurricane Katrina type events where you get a big storm surge that comes up, floods the landscape, drowns all these dinosaurs, and leaves this huge field of bones all buried in mud.
Yeah, and it might look something like this.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. We had little animations of tornadoes on there. I don't know where they went. They disappeared. But anyway, but here's a cool artistic reconstruction. Here, can I grab that for a second? So here's a cool artistic reconstruction from a book that I have called The Complete Dinosaur. I just love these twin tornadoes in the background, these brachiosauruses. Now brachiosauruses, they lived in the late Jurassic period, so you wouldn't have seen them in the Cretaceous period. So we actually made a reconstruction of what we think that storm chasing in Alberta in the late Cretaceous period might have actually looked like. But then we remembered all the fossil evidence that Alberta was actually mostly redwood forest back in the Cretaceous period. So here's me with a petrified tree stump, and there's a leaf impression, an ironstone, and there's a seed cone, and there's some amber, which is fossil tree life. I'll let you go ahead and.
So since there's a redwood footage, let's upgrade the simulation. Boom. Oh, next one.
There we go. tornado season here, and in the wintertime we get kind of bored, and we miss tornadoes, so we decided to make our own at home. So we started building tornado machines, experimenting with different things, seeing what would work. So there's Cheatham starting to build one of our early iterations of it.
Yeah. Next. So here's our storm machine. We even painted clouds on it. So we've got this big pump that pumps air, this little tube, and it out that little funnel at the bottom. That's where the spinning air comes out, and then it makes a tornado. But when you turn it on, it is very loud.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Yeah. I mean, that's how tornadoes are real life.
There's a new iteration with a larger area for rotation, and then we took that airstream that's feeding in and we ran it through a really narrow opening so that it speeds up. So you get that Venturi effect. You force a flow through a smaller opening, it speeds up. So we did that to get some faster flow, see if we could get a more intense.
Yeah, this one was also really loud. Yeah. And just want to note that at the top, so where the sunlight can get, it's really bright, but then at the bottom, so it's a cloud that the sunlight can't get through, so we painted it darker and darker as we went down.
Yeah, that was you that painted that one. You did a good job on that.
Yeah, you helped a little bit.
A little bit. I mostly did the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a close-up of where it narrows down so we get that really fast stream. And I actually learned that would get the circulation going better. When I was working at the Tyrrell Museum, I was doing water changes for the turtle, and I had to fill up these big, giant 5-gallon pails with water. And so I tried a little experiment. Okay, if I just put the hose in without putting my thumb over it, how fast does it get spinning? And then I'll try it with my thumb over it. And I found that with my thumb over it, it got spinning a lot faster. And you got a bigger dimple in the middle of the water. So it's like, okay, we'll try that. Narrow it down, see if that makes a more intense tornado.
It did.
It did.
Next.
So yeah, there it is. There's a narrow opening that comes out. The air comes out of there.
And then we used hot water for some steam, and we
hot water and dry ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a really good cloud.
Yeah, dry ice, hot water, and we got this nice steam to make this big tornado looking thing.
So yeah, that air coming in, it's wrapping around and then it's coming down. So it's acting like that RFD that wraps around the tornado and comes down. And then in the middle, we've got the intake for the pump pulling it up. So that's your updraft. You're in your tornado cyclone, pulling that air back in. Now, as you have this air spinning around, it's going over spinning around a wide radius. But as it gets pulled into the center, it's narrowing that radius. And so through conservation of angular momentum, you get an increase in the speed of that air. It ends up spinning really fast. Like the classic analogy is a figure skater that's spinning and they pull their arms and legs in and they go faster.
So here's it going up. Here's from the side.
There's another view of it. And I love this one because it's, we didn't put it on a stand or anything like a lot of tornado machines. We can actually just hold it and move it around.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to play with.
See, here's the real tornado, and here's the little thing. You can both see, if I turn the laser point on, see it goes like, woo, woo. And on this one, see, you can see that same effect.
Yeah, it's got that weird, like, wavy, like, kind of helical structure to it that we saw both in the real tornado and in our fake.
Yeah. The reason being is the air coming in is going so fast that pushes on the edges.
Yeah.
And it makes it bigger.
Yeah, I don't entirely understand the dynamics of it all. We built this thing and it kind of looks like that, so that's cool.
So yeah, here's another picture.
Yeah, you can see that with the wave there.
Look, we can see, here's an animation.
Yeah, I love this one. You can actually see it tossing water.
Yeah, around here, it's like for a fraction of a second, but can you see the water?
So yeah, that's how intense that wind gets in the middle. And then we also love lightning, so we built some lightning machines. So back when I was a teenager, I built a few Tesla coils, so those are fun.
Yeah, here's what they look like.
So yeah, there was one of them.
Here's another one.
And then I decided that wasn't big enough, so I had to build a bigger one. This is a Tesla magnifier system that has a separate resonator coil. So it looks really cool, looks a lot like lightning, but really not analogous to lightning at all because it's high frequency alternating current rather than pulses of DC like lightning is. So even though it looks the same, it's really not all that the same.
Yeah.
All that similar. So then more recently, I tried to make a better analog for lightning by using direct current to charge up a saltwater capacitor. So it's kind of acting like the capacitors of a storm. You get these layers of charge separated by insulator. It's acting like a capacitor storage.
Yeah.
You upgraded
So, how it works is, there's a spike gap here as the arrow's pointing. So there's two bolts right next to each other. I went back. Oops. I was trying to hold this. So, but when you bring the americium close, it shoots these alpha particles, and allows in the spike gap the little spike. It looks like lightning.
Yeah.
Here's some diodes. Here's the neon sign transformer, and when you do that, it it makes like St. Elmo's fire in the salt water capacitor. Here. Yeah, the name's pretty funny. St. Elmo's fire. Yeah, the name's funny. And here's an incandescent light bulb, and you can actually see it with the lights off. You can see it glow a little bit. And want to know a fun fact?
Yep.
So, if you unplug the machine, turn it off, you put one finger on the metal thing on the saltwater capacitor, one finger on the bottle on the bottom where the charge is, and you will actually feel a little tingling in your finger because it's actually still got a little bit of current. It won't shock you or anything, but you'll feel a little tingling in your fingers.
Yeah, I mean, we discharge the capacitor first to get rid of most of the
Yeah.
There's still a little bit there. So yeah, here's the circuit diagram.
Yep.
So here's the circuit diagram. Yeah, this is the way this works. We just got the 120 volts coming out of the wall. We run it through this neon sign transformer for 7,500 volts. Run that through the diode string to turn it into direct current, and then that charges up this saltwater capacitor here. So it's building up a positive charge in the water here, which is a magnesium sulfate solution. So we've got lots of ions in it, and then we've got this grounded strip of aluminum tape on the outside of it. So you get this really strong electric field across the dielectric of this pop bottle, and that stores up charge, stores up energy, and it wants to jump across this air gap, but this air gap is actually just a little bit too large for it to break down. So the electric field doesn't actually get strong enough to break down the air, and that's just like the measured electric fields in thunderstorms. So the electric fields that have been measured in thunderstorms are not strong enough to break down the air. So one of the mysteries of lightning is what actually initiates the breakdown of lightning, what actually initiates the breakdown of the air when the electric field isn't strong enough. And there have been different ideas proposed, but one of the ideas is that cosmic rays are responsible. So these are really high energy charged particles coming from space, from crazy high energy, feeding black holes and exploding stars and merging neutron stars and all kinds of spooky stuff. So we decided, okay, we can recreate that. All we have to do is just generate a high energy beam of charged particles. Well, we could build a particle accelerator, but that's complicated and expensive.
So we just got some americium 241 from one of our smoke detectors.
Yeah, we took apart a smoke detector. And in the smoke detector, there is a small quantity of radioactive americium-241, which is the synthetic element that's produced in nuclear reactors. So that releases alpha particles, which are electrically charged particles. They got 2 protons and 2 neutrons, so they're the same as a helium nucleus. They got 4 atomic mass units of mass and a 2+ electric charge, which makes them really good at ionizing. So they come flying out of the radioactive isotope. They come flying through the air. They only travel about 5 centimeters through the air before they stop. But as they do that, they're colliding with air molecules and they're knocking electrons off. And when they do that within this electric field, they knock these electrons off. Now these electrons are in a strong electric field. They get accelerated. They collide with other molecules, knock off more electrons. You get this electron avalanche, and that actually initiates the discharge. So when the americium is far away from the spark gap, it doesn't spark. But then as soon as we bring it within range, then it starts to spark. We get those discharges. So you get these bright, cloud to ground like lightning discharges through the spark gap. And then, just like in a real thunderstorm, when you have that sudden discharge of energy, you get a very abrupt change in the electric field throughout the whole rest of the thunderstorm. So that you get this whole redistribution of charge that happens through the rest of the thunderstorm. So that's what the rest of the circuit simulates, trying to recreate some of the effects that we see from the changing electric field the rest of the thunderstorm.
And since everything has too. Like the tornado machine, it's very loud.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everything we build is loud for some reason.
Yeah, everything is loud. Even my voice through these microphones.
There's another shot of it. So the closer you bring it, the faster these discharges happen because there's more particles of radiation coming through the electric field.
Yeah, and if I turn on the laser, see this little thing here? Well, here's one lightning bolt, here's another, and then I think here's another, and then I think they're connecting there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're simultaneous or they were just happening so fast that the one frame of the video that we took this from would capture 3 strikes, but it looks cool.
Yeah. Next.
Next guy. There's a close-up compared to lightning bolt we got on that first nighttime supercell chase that we did. Big flash, big discharge of energy.
You can see big, just boom, white light. Basically, it looks like just white light. And then that's the same with this, except this one looks fat.
Yep. Next slide. And now here it is in the dark. So there you see the bright light there. Here, click a couple more so we get the labels there.
Yeah, see, look. So here's the fire that's actually called St. Elmo's fire, funny name. And here's the light bulb.
Yeah.
Lighting up.
So in the light bulb you've got low pressure gas. So it's similar to the low pressure gas with a thunderstorm. And one of the things that happens with thunderstorms, sometimes you'll get one of these really intense positive lightning bolts in the thunderstorm, and then you see this glowing discharge that happens above the thunderstorm. These transient luminous events, like blue jets and sprites and whatnot. So that's what I was trying to recreate here. I was thinking, okay, if we get that discharge, we get a sudden change in charge. We just put this light bulb on there. Will we actually get little streamers forming in that low pressure gas? And sure enough, we did. It worked. You want to advance it to the next one? See the animation of it? So there, you can see it flickering there. And you notice, just like real transient luminous events, it doesn't seem to be going every time there's a lightning bolt. So that there's just steady lightning going on down below there, the spark gap. But then only every once in a while you see one of these. And on the right there, yeah, you got the St. Elmo's fire there from the capacitor.
Yeah, it's not like staying played. It's kind of staying played, but for some reason, suddenly it just jumps in brightness.
Yeah, but the St. Elmo's fire seems to be like continuous, but the transient luminous events are only every once in a while. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, me either. Here's a close-up on the
yeah,
close-up light bulb.
And then there's this little video clip of it.
Animation.
There's a close-up of the saltwater capacitor. So I put a little sewing needle on there just to create a point where you have a conductive point. You get concentration of the electric field, and so you get more of this corona discharge. But we also get these little streamers that every once in a while show up on there.
Yeah, we got some more. We got an animation.
Let's start.
You can see over there, just two going opposite ways.
Now, this is what I was actually trying to recreate from this. This is something I did by accident in 10th grade. So those are like 6-inch discharges, 8-inch discharge or something, going up the side of a 2-liter pop bottle that's part of a saltwater capacitor for a Tesla coil I was building. And that's only 15,000 volts powering this. And yet those streamers are like 8 inches long, which is way longer than 15,000 volts is supposed to jump. I think this is some sort of capacitive coupling transmission line effect. I don't really know. I haven't been able to reproduce this effect. I'm trying. Hopefully I'm able to do that again. It's frustrating to look at the picture I took like in the late 90s and be like, how did I do this? Show the next one.
You don't know because it was on accident.
It was, yep. Yeah, there's another cool shot. You see that really long streamer going all the way up the side.
Yeah, you can see it like right there. That one's a really clear one.
Really branching and kind of skipping over the surface. Kind of reminds me of, this kind of lightning that goes horizontally and kind of spreads out and skips around. This was on the kind of Enchanted Brooks tornado outbreak earlier in the year, which is another one that I missed. We were coming at it from the west. We ended up stuck behind the rain. I didn't want to plunge through the rain when there's tornado warnings on this thing. So we just basically stared at rain and lightning, but still really cool. We got to see some cool lightning. But that's our talk. So thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed.
So I'm pretty sure that
Throw that out there. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be the one making cars run off lightning.
Over here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I gotta go grab it. Got some props.
And then you like start, he's like, peel quicker. Just gotta do a quick lap change here for him.
Oh, man.
Is there power I
it's
can plug
already
in?
charging through there. Yeah, I've got it plugged into the power.
Oh, it charges at the same time?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Then I won't worry about that.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, I know. That was really good. Smarter than me.
All right, I'm going to just let you do your thing here.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll give you your quick introduction here, and then
Yeah, go ahead. Might need you to tell some jokes when I get the 360 camera set up too.
where else getting jokes that I can just dance?
Yeah. All right, I think we're set.
We're good.
Yeah, I think so. The sound's plugged in, right? Yeah.
Sound is plugged in, yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be blown away, not by the storm, but by the sheer awesomeness of Aaron J. Jack's legendary beard. Rumor has it that Aaron's beard is
Shaved
the real
it.
brains behind the storm chasing operation, controlling the winds and directing the LOL car through the craziest virtual reality adventures imaginable. They say his beard even has its own fan club, with storm clouds lining up for selfies. So Aaron, spill the beans. Does your beard have a secret hotline to Mother Nature, or is it just really good at reading the weather?
Well, it's really good for telling inflow direction out in the field. So, but I did trim it a little bit before I came here, just so I look a little nicer.
Let's give it up for Aaron J. Jack and the beard that's storm chasing road by storm.
Test. Okay, so my presentation today, I don't know if you guys have followed my storm chasing. One of the things I like to do is chase with 360 cameras, and I've been doing 360 camera chasing for quite a while. Various different cameras and whatnot. And so the first part of my presentation, I'm going to talk about storm chasing with 360 cameras, kind of talk about that, my history of storm chasing, and then we'll dive into a little bit of the tornado that's been talked about a lot today, which is the Didsbury, Alberta tornado, which is pictured here as I was charging towards the tornado as across the road. Actually, I might be backing up a little bit right here, but I was running 360 cameras on that on that day. So a little bit about me, my background. So I've been interested in storm chasing and weather for a long time, since the 1990s. I used to sit there and play video games in my bedroom in high school and watch the Weather Channel at the same time. And I'd see storm videos, and it was something I really wanted to do. I was really interested in weather, and when I was in high school, I had to pick what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I wanted to be a storm chaser. And but I didn't think that was really possible. Then about the same time I got my driver's license in 1996, the movie Twister was released and blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God, that's actually something people get out there and do. So when came time to pick what I wanted to do for school, I applied for meteorology at Purdue University in Indiana, got accepted into the meteorology department there, and then started the first semester, and they told me I'd only make $15,000 for the next 20 years. And I said, well, what the heck am I doing here? Maybe I won't do meteorology. So I think they were just they weeded me out. They were looking for people that were passionate about meteorology only maybe, and not storm chasing, and I just wanted to do storm chasing, right? But so I continued to storm chase, through the 90s, through the early 2000s. I eventually got into a management degree in computer technology, and I started developing video games. I grew up in northern Indiana, and we didn't really get a lot of supercells there. I remember seeing the supercell the very first time. I was working in the drive-thru at McDonald's in high school, and we were in a tornado warning, and I saw the updraft of a supercell. I'd never seen one before. I saw it rotating. I saw this crisp updraft, and I was just absolutely amazed by that, and that's just triggered ignited a fire in me to pursue weather. But again, I jumped into software development, did video games for a while, storm chased. I moved to Austin, Texas, so I got a little bit closer to Tornado Alley. And I started venturing out from there, and first just kind of going a couple of counties away, then going a little deeper into Texas, and eventually crossing multiple states. And then eventually my first international storm chase was here in Canada in 2018. So it was a continual progression of just getting deeper into storm chasing over time. My mission out there, I'm passionate about weather and chasing. I try to tell people all the time to chase their passion and go after their passions in life, and because I think that's important, and that's what drives me anyway for having a fulfilling life. And my mission out there is to inform, first and foremost, trying to take the warnings, the watches, try and spread on social media when there's a threat in an area, trying just to help that warning process, that information spreading process. And then also to inspire people to get out and to see Mother Nature. It can be really brutal and damaging and can wreck people's lives, but at the same time, there's a lot of beauty in there. And people chase. There's always about a discussion about chasing in Dixie Alley versus in the plains, and a lot of people won't chase Dixie Alley. And personally, I have chased Dixie Alley, but I don't really like it because to see tornadoes there, it means someone's probably gonna either have their home destroyed or lose their life or be really injured. And so, it's kind of a conflict of interest there. So I do prefer being in the plains and the prairie and chasing after tornadoes out there. I've chased all weather types: tornadoes, hurricanes. I've been in Category 5 Hurricane Michael in Florida in 2018, and many Category 3, 4 hurricanes, tropical storms. I do enjoy those as well for different reasons. There's not really any beauty in those storms, but actually feeling and experiencing Mother Nature and the power that those hurricanes can bring is also pretty incredible. And again, that's another big part of that is spreading those warnings and alerts and live streaming, right? So I like to live stream when I'm out there, and that helps people see what's going on. There's lots of people that have friends or family that live on the coast, and they want to see what's going on with those hurricanes. And earlier in I think the chief meteorologist here from Calgary, she mentioned about the visuals. And people get a warning on their phone, and sometimes they might ignore that. But when they see a tornado on a live stream or on Twitter, they might take that a little bit more seriously. And so it's important as a storm chaser to get those visuals out there. I like creating videos. I'm a videographer. I like editing videos and creating weathertainment content for people to consume and enjoy, and do some photography at the same time and live streaming. So chasing with 360 cameras. So I started chasing with 360 cameras in 2014, and my friend and I, we launched this weather balloon you can see here with 6 GoPros attached to it. So this is preceded real 360 cameras that we have today, where everything is easy to stitch together. The software is really good. Back then, we had to buy a device online and attach 6 different GoPros, get them all synced together, fire them off, and then to try and edit the footage after that was really, really hard. And we attached this 360 camera to a weather balloon, launched it into a supercell, a storm complex, and it went up into the atmosphere. We had it set to, once it reached a certain altitude, that balloon would pop. There was a parachute attached to the top of the balloon, and then the cameras would come back down to Earth, and we were able to recover it. And I do have video of that. It's on my YouTube channel. This is a still shot from that we captured. Well, this is actually me hand holding the camera, but we did recover the 360 GoPro cameras. We launched it in western Kansas, and it actually traveled to the west into eastern Colorado, and we were able to track it down. After that, I got into the GoPro Fusion, and that's this one right here. This is actually the second GoPro Fusion I owned. The first one got blasted off the roof of the car by giant hail, and that was a $600 loss and mistake. So I learned my lessons from there, and eventually I moved to the GoPro Max in 2020, and I started tethering the camera to the vehicle using a suction cup, but I built these tethers and then attached to the vehicle, so that in the event that the camera did get blown off by hail or wind, I'd be able to recover it. And then I also recently, right before the Didsbury tornado, Insta360 reached out to me, a new company, newish, actually they've been around for a while, but they offered to send me this camera and for free, so that was really nice of them. And I started chasing with the Insta360 X3. But with the Didsbury tornado, I actually had both the Insta360 and the GoPro Max running. So I wanted to kind of compare the 2 different cameras to see which one looked better. And that you can see in the background here, 2 different shots there. On the left, it's the Insta360, and on the right, it's the GoPro Max. So why did I start chasing with 360 cameras? So I like to chase solo. One of the things for me for chasing is I like to be alone out there with Mother Nature in the plains. It's to each their own. Lots of people like to gather and hang out in big groups and chase. I like to just kind of hang out in nature and just to kind of enjoy it all by myself. Sometimes it makes forecasting and targeting a little easier. There's no where I want to go chase, I can go chase there, and I don't have to. There's no conflict with another chaser. Less bathroom breaks and things of that nature. And I also, as I mentioned, I like to be a videographer and make these videos after the fact. Kind of like vlog videos. And chasing by yourself, it's hard to capture everything when you're looking at radar, you're navigating, you're trying to shoot the video. Driving, of course, and I thought that a 360 camera could be that second cameraman for me. So I started attaching those to the top of the car to capture additional footage, especially when I was driving or having to move, reposition on a storm. That 360 camera might catch stuff that I would otherwise miss. And I also wanted to allow people to experience what it's like to be next to one of these monster tornadoes. So. Most people in their lifetime that aren't storm chasers, they're probably never going to see a tornado. It's actually very low chance for any location to actually see a tornado. And with VR technology coming about, I thought people would maybe want to strap on some goggles and see what it's like to be next to a tornado. So the technology is slowly improved. It's still not quite there. Regular camera has better resolution than these 360 cameras, but someday I'm sure it's going to be really, really good. And maybe it'll be like the Matrix where you could plug in and actually be there. And someday I actually would like to live stream in 360 VR where people could strap on goggles while I'm live streaming a storm and actually be there with me. So we're not there yet, but I think we'll be there someday, maybe not in my lifetime, but someday. So as I mentioned, I strapped my cameras to the roof of Wall car, and that's my chase vehicle that Graham and Tatum mentioned. With this, definitely want to do this so you don't lose it. It's quite an expensive camera to lose. And finally, you can create these unique time lapses. So Besides getting the 360 video, you can take a 1080 by 1920 by 1080 frame out of the 360 degree footage and point it wherever you want. And by doing that, you can create these amazing time lapses of the entire life cycle of a tornado, of a storm, even while you're driving. You don't have to worry about pointing the camera, because after the fact of storm chasing, you take your footage and then you pick where you want to show your video at, and you can create these incredible time lapses that show that full life cycle of a tornado. So chasing the Didsbury, Alberta EF4 and going into the danger zone. So storm chasing, this storm, I had decided days in advance that I was going to go chase this day. The setup looked decent. We had a strong impulse of energy coming from the west. It was the Friday before I took off from Manitoba, started driving west to Alberta. The day before the day was actually, I was watching Braden. He was out there chasing in the foothills, capturing some amazing supercells the day before. That gave me more confidence to keep driving west 12 hours here at Alberta. I stayed the night in Medicine Hat on Friday night. And Kyle mentioned the models. The models I was looking at the night before and the morning of were the GFS and the Canadian model. The HRRR, the HRRR, is terrible up here in Canada. Really good down on the southern plains, central plains, but it's absolutely terrible up here in northern plains into Canada. The NOM's a little better, but that day I ignored both those models actually and was looking at mainly the Canadian model. And I liked what I saw. My target the night before was somewhere north of Calgary up to Red Deer, but I was going to head to Red Deer. Storms moving east, northeast until I make a turn to the right. I generally like to start from the north, work my way down south, multiple storms fire. To me, it feels easier to drop from the north to the south, obviously, if they're moving to the northeast and not chasing after them. Drop down in front of the storms. The shear obviously looks good with the impulse coming from the west, strong westerlies aloft. You had plenty of lift and instability with the colder air overhead. Clear skies the morning of that day, blue skies, so warming up the landmass there. And then the moisture. So this is a shot I took from an app called Sasquatch. So I look at the models the night before. I looked at it a little bit in the morning of, just to get me, my rule is generally I'm going to look at those things to get me within an hour of where a potential tornado is going to form. And from there, I'm going to hone in on surface observations. And from surface observations, then I'm watching radar and using surface observations. So that morning of, was looking at the nice pool of dew points, 60 Fahrenheit dew points off to the east, north of Calgary, kind of getting a little skinnier up there near Red Deer. So as I made my way west to Calgary, got on Highway 2. I decided then it was time to go to visual observation. So I'm driving up Highway 2, I'm looking off to the west, and I'm starting to see the tower starting to bubble up along the foothills there. And Graham had some nice shots of that happening. As I'm driving to the north towards Red Deer, something caught my eye. I saw a storm that looked like a good updraft. It looked healthy. And I decided to get off the highway and go west. Didn't go all the way to Red Deer, and that was here in Olds. I stopped in Olds and I went to the little Donair place down the street, Prairie Donair, and decided to get some lunch real quick. And as I walked inside, it was still nice sunny skies, a little bit of bubble off to the west. I wasn't in there by more than 10 minutes, and I come out, and the sky is very dark, shadows overhead, the sun's gone, and I was caught by surprise actually how fast the storm was starting to developing, further giving me more confidence that this was the right spot, right the storm to target. So I blasted off to the west, out of Didsbury, got into position to where I could see the storm, and this is the first video I took of the storm at 2:05. That's Central Time, but it was 1:05 p.m. Nice base there. You can already start to see a bit of an RFD cut coming in there. So it looked like a healthy storm. I thought it was I even said, I could see visible rotation already at this time. Dangerous storm. Trying to get those warnings out to people. Pay attention, because this looks like it's going to be the real deal here very shortly. And this is a still shot from a video I took as the first funnel ascended. This is at 1:43 to 1:44 p.m., so kind of ties in with Kyle mentioned 1:45. It was about 1:44 when I first saw this funnel and spin up on the ground. And I'll show you the video of it here, see if there's sound. So this is I don't know, Graham, I'm not sure if you were, I think you had a shot here at this time as well. At this time, there's no tornado warning on the storm. And again, that's one of the importance of being a storm chaser out there, is being those eyes on the ground. Radar can't see what's happening at the surface, but I'm watching the RFD start wrapping around, start to see a funnel forming. Once I see this, my next thought is to watch the ground. Watch the ground, look for that spin up on the ground. Talking to myself there. Oh, it's on the ground. I'm going tornado. So 1:44, we have tornado on the ground. Whoop, it's going to play again. I drove a little further down the road then at that point to get in front of the tornado. And at this point, it starts descending down, and you see a nice funnel forming here. Hopefully I don't blast your ears here, because I sometimes yell when I get excited in these storms, but I'll show you this. So I just kicked on the 360 cameras, and that's what we're going to jump into next. I'm going to strap on the 360 cameras and take you there to Didsbury that day. But I wanted to get warning out.
Just to the southwest of Didsbury, Alberta, with a tornado in progress right now. Moving east, big tornado forming overhead. Intermittent touchdowns, big funnel cloud overhead. Stay alert, and you're downstream from Didsbury, Alberta. Big tornado forming right now. Tornado warning is about to touch down.
Okay. So, all right, let's do this transition now. So, next step here, I'm going to strap on these 360 goggles, and we're going to see if this works or not. But if it doesn't work, it might make my presentation go a little short. But I have a backup video here. I can take you through the tornado as well.
I sure can.
What's that? Oh, okay. Well, I was going to hold it once I get this on.
So how many laser pointers are going to be pointed at you now?
Yeah. Okay.
We're looking at you, Mike.
Where are they at? Here they are. Where's my menu at? Hold on a second. Bear with me here. This is where you're supposed to tell jokes, Curtis.
Well, we're just looking at you, buddy. It's great. Looking for your menu in space. Yep.
All right, here it is. You guys see it up there yet? Okay. Okay, hold on.
It says casting stall.
Wait, I gotta kick the casting off. Here we go. You might need to refresh that page, but let's see. I think it's gone. You're now casting.
Doesn't.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. It's happening.
Oh my God! There it is.
Oh, okay.
Or do you need lights on?
I guess, maybe you could turn them off. Maybe. Hold on, we gotta set some boundaries here. So I don't walk into anything. Can you see this happening? Can that be made full screen, does it look like? Jack Storm Tracks. Okay, well, first you can see I got a lot of 360 videos here. Lots of different tornadoes I've intercepted. The last one is the Didsbury one, and that's what we're going to jump into here. Oh, after we watch this ad.
That yogurt looks delicious.
Okay, so here we go. So I've driven down the road, and funnel just came right over the top. So when I showed you it formed, it actually formed out here in this field, came right over the top of me, and we have this funnel cloud forming overhead. You guys can see it, right? Yep. Okay. So here I come. There's some random people driving by. All right, so here I'm going to shoot that video I just showed you guys. Again, I'm trying to get out a warning here, get a shot of me in front of the tornado because I think it's cool. Beautiful funnel clouds starting to come down. You can see over here I'm also running the GoPro Max camera here, tethered to the roof rack. And the Insta360 is what we're watching from. Big funnel descending down. You can see the rotation overhead, wrapping around. One of the things I wanted to mention that this storm for a while was actually, so it looked like a beautiful, strong storm, but it looked like it was struggling due to moisture. And if you remember, I showed you guys that 60 Fahrenheit dew point map. I actually texted Michaela. I said this thing's going to go bonkers as soon as it hits that 60 Fahrenheit dews. And right about the time it reached those 60 Fahrenheit dews, it made that turn to the southeast and started dropping this funnel down. So you can see there's a debris cloud on the ground here. So it is tornado in progress right here. Intermittent touchdowns from here. No tornadoes across the road, but now we're down again here. Whoa, getting a little dizzy here. Does it look all right up there? I can, yeah. Okay. Okay. And one of the things you can see, look at this big base here. And you can notice not a lot of rain, low precipitation. Any of the rain is way down here. No hailstones coming down yet, but later on when I'm running underneath it, big time hailstones start dropping around me, zipping past my head. I hear them zipping past me. Off to the west, not a lot going on. Looks like there's a little attempt of initiation back there. Nothing to the south. Looking towards Calgary. But I gotta get a wider stance here.
I'll come stand closer if you get near anything else.
Yeah. And you can see we still have debris, a little bit of a debris cloud here going on the ground. And we're going to come up here. I think this is Range Road 23 we're on. And we're about to get on the road that Graham and Tatum are on, a little bit further down this way over here right now. It's almost kind of getting a bowl shape to it there. And actually, this was obviously an intimidating tornado, a violent EF4 tornado. I've been around a lot of tornadoes, and the only time I had any concern on this tornado was really early on here, actually, when I turned right here. We're going to go down this road, and it actually looked like it was starting to move a little bit to the north, but I had a row of trees over the top of me. A little bit of a rolling stop there. So it's called a Manitoba stop.
You'll get the next one.
Try to look away from any questionable traffic situations. But you can see, look at this, still a beautiful funnel up there. We're going to come up here on a road. I thought about stopping here. And one of the things I'm thinking about doing this whole time during this chase is, when am I going to punch in close for that money shot to get right up close to it? Actually, you can see some inflow, dirt blasting here, going across the field, across that dirt road. But I come up on this dirt road here, and there's actually a guy on a motorcycle chasing this thing. I don't think he was a storm chaser. I think he was just out joyriding and saw a tornado. Not this road, the next one. So I guess that's probably 1 kilometer, right, from that first road. We've just gone 1 kilometer. This is where I got a little bit concerned here. I couldn't see the ground level, what's happening. You can see this thing. It actually looked like it was coming towards me. I think Graham even mentioned that they were a little concerned coming up here. It was making that move to the north a little bit. Here comes motorcycle guy. I've watched this a few times. Hey, motorcycle guy. There he is.
Nearly fast enough.
No, he's going. I was like, oh, just follow him. He knows what he's doing. Big funnel, can't see it, can't see what's happening. A little concern here. A little bit of a concern. Maybe it's got some deviant motion, I don't know. But it does look like it's getting a little closer to the road as up in the upper levels. Big, rapid road motion up there. Beautiful poplars. Motorcycle guy still moving. Where are you going, motorcycle guy? Tornado's over here. All right, and this is where we're going to stop. And now, this is when the tornado really decides that it's going to be a tornado, the first attempt. Look at all this dirt blowing across the road here. Nice funnel cloud. Oh, yeah. Got the hair telling me which direction the inflow is coming from. Coming around here. Time to shoot some video. Yeah. Oh, yeah, beautiful funnel. Oh, look at this. Look at this dirt's kicking up. It's getting real. This is the point where I'm probably saying, beautiful. Still nothing going on the surface, though. But it's getting ready to really mean business. Look at this RFD wrapping around. Incredible cinnamon bun up there. All right, watch the ground here. Here we go.
So which point is the suck zone?
The what? Right here. This is the suck zone. Right here. Suck zone. Oh, there we go. Incredible tornadoes forming. Still not fully condensed, obviously. I think this is probably where Graham saw those trees coming down early on, getting sucked into this thing. I actually considered running down the road. Like literally, I was like, I had stopped myself from running down the road because these trees were going to get in the way. Another little selfie shot. Wind's blowing me around. Tornado. Can you guys hear any sound?
Nope.
Ah.
I can try to turn it off.
I wonder if the sound, does it muted? Curtis, like, where are you at?
I'm over here. Hi.
Is it maybe?
Yep, it is.
Oh, debris flying through the air here. Big tornado going now. It's getting nasty. Well, we got to get back in the car and get closer to this thing. So we're getting in. This is some leftover tape from a windshield replacement. All right, let's get a little closer and catch up back to this thing. It's getting a little bit to the east of me. Again, going through my mind is, when is the right time to punch into it? I don't want to do it too soon and then fall behind and miss the best time to punch in. So we're going to track it here. Do east. Great road network out here. Tracking to the east. Random resident just trying to get the hell out of there. Again, no, it's kind of weakened a little bit. We've actually lost most of the condensation funnel. There's still dirt from the ground levels. A little bit of a nubbin up there. But still beautiful. Look at this. Look at that up there. Beautiful cut. Still not much rain. Look at off to the north and to the northeast. Hardly any rain. Can't even see that there's any rain falling, but there's a little raindrop fell on the camera. Nope, not a good spot to stop. Barn's in the way. There we go. Yeah. Move back up. What's that?
Now the echo's gone.
Okay. You can still hear it though?
Yep, now we can.
Okay. Sweet. Good work. All right, it's gonna get going again here. I try to, while I'm chasing, I mostly am shooting video, but I love still photography as well. Obviously, the video sells. If you're trying to make money off of chasing, video sells better than photographs. But I do like to get at least one still shot of every tornado I'm chasing. It makes a good thumbnail for the YouTube video, and I like the still photography, so. Debris right up there, if you see that, it hit something small here. Oh yeah, now we're talking here. Let's get the still camera out. Come on, buddy. There we go. Oh yeah, really turning up that rich black Alberta dirt right there. Look at that. Crops are looking great. Canola, that's why we had those good dew points. That canola had a good canola crop, I think. Done with the still shots. Gonna have to move again. Look at that. There's that ghost train funneling in. It's really intensifying. Subaru's really grinding there. Can you hear that power in that engine? Oh yeah, look at that now. Could have a Manitoba stop coming up here. Don't look. There's Graham and Tatum. I think I honked. Did you guys hear it? Oh, that was, no, look, hey, look at that. That was a good stop. No cars coming. Okay, this is the point where I thought houses were going to get hit. I think Graham mentioned that as well. I thought those houses were going to get hit. There's like a little bit of a subdivision there, right here. They barely got missed, just to the south, and it weakened a little bit. But we've got a beast in the making here. Oh yeah, look at that motion. Can you see that motion? Okay.
Well, I can. I'm looking at your computer.
Oh, okay. Can you guys see it on the screen?
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at. Am I looking at it? See, this house, this subdivision barely got missed. Big hailstone there. So we're starting to get big hailstones coming down now. So you know it's really cranking up there, pulling those rogue hailstones from off to the north around the mesocyclone. Big hailstones coming down. Can you guys see those? Yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of beauty marks on the Subaru. Trying to get some, oh, look at them bouncing across the road. Oh, who's that? That might not even be a storm chaser.
That's us.
Oh, it is. What are you doing on the left side?
I was gonna pull back to the right, but then you started driving. I just go,
Alberta driver. Oh, really cranking here. Just missed this farm right here, but I think it did do some damage to this farm. Railroad tracks. Big hailstones falling. Adrenaline's really pumping right now. Okay, let's see where it's got going here. So it hasn't reached, obviously, peak intensity yet. Again, it had kind of bounced between being strong and then weakening over and over again until it really got going. Unfortunately, right when it got to those two houses on 2A. Bad timing. There's Graham and Tatum. Getting some video. And again, I think this 360 video, I think it's a great learning tool for people that haven't chased, that want to learn how to chase, for meteorologists even. I notice I have a 360 video that every once in a while it gets like chunks of 30 views at a time, and I think it's like some teacher in a classroom showing their students. So that's kind of cool to see that. I mean, that's obviously why I've got these 360 cameras. And now we're starting to, get into that, approaching that peak mature phase of the stage of the tornado. I mean, it's been pretty mature for a while here, but this thing was, I was chasing it, obviously. I was tracking this for it was over a half an hour. So it was a long duration, long track, long duration tornado, pretty rare tornado here for Alberta. Really starting to look at that plume of dirt lifting up. It's starting to get a barrel shape now, enveloping the main tornado cyclone. And incredible piping dynamics. They're just pumping dirt and moist air up into the atmosphere, lifting it way up high, 30, 40,000 feet into the air. All that energy of the storm just condensed down into this little spot right here. Thankfully, another farm that was missed. So you can see it's very open out here. This is where you want a storm chaser. This is a dream, right? A tornado out in open fields that's photogenic. It's incredible power. Look at that debris floating probably, 2,000, 3,000 feet up into the air.
Debris way up there.
See?
It looks violent now.
It looks violent now. Hailstone's really now starting to come down, so you can tell that the storm is really strengthened now. But again, off to the northeast, not much going on as far as rain. So I would say at this point now we are at or near peak intensity. There's probably EF4 strength of winds going on there in the cyclone. It's just not hitting anything, thankfully. So this is the point where I'm deciding in my head that I need to make a punch into the tornado to get close, get that close money shot. I just didn't know that there was any homes that it was about to hit. So here we go. Now we should be coming up on Highway 2A now at this point. So I'm blasting out east. I'm going to get ahead of this tornado. I'm going to find the next south option that gets me up to this thing. And that happened to be 2A. Debris again, way up there, 2,000, 3,000 feet. Manitoba roll, don't look. Rolling stop, no one's coming because there's a tornado about to cross the road. Power flashes across the road now. Big debris now. The roof, there's the roof of the house getting chucked out of the tornado. Incredible tornado. Violent, EF4 violent tornado right here. It's a little grainy because there's so much debris, I think. Got to back up. So at this point, it's widening out and making a turn to the north right now. So that's why I decided to back up. I didn't want to get hit by like a flying combine or anything. So I see this debris obviously as a storm chaser. Ooh, big debris flying out there. As a storm chaser, what's going through my head is my next steps, and my next steps are to go see if I can check on these homes to see if there's anyone that needs help. So let it clear. Debris still chucking out of the thing here. Just missed this home here. This is the brother of the guy that lives in this farm here. I ended up going back a couple weeks later and talking to the farmer. All right, time to go check on the houses. We're punching in. At this point, I believe this is actually when it was the strongest. It just wasn't hitting anything. It crossed my mind. Actually, I thought EF5 at this point, based on the sound and what I was seeing as far as motion. It looked like someone had dropped a bottle of glitter. Well, no more than a bottle, but a ton of glitter into the storm. And I thought, yeah, I was witnessing an EF5 tornado right now. I didn't say that, but that's what's going through my head, EF5 tornado. Possibly a dead cow here, or there was a lot of cattle and I think a couple of horses that were killed by the tornado. Lots of debris coming out of it. So you can see, even though I'm a decent distance away from it, I wish I was a little closer when I was up here, but.
That was on the left side of the road.
Yeah, this is on the left side, yeah. Yeah. So we come up now, let's check on these homes. You can look at this scarring right here. You see incredible scar where the main cyclone passed. So it turned to the north, as I mentioned. I hit this farm and house directly. And then it turned to the north, thankfully, and missed this house. Both these guys are related. This is the daughter or something like niece or something of the guy that lives here. Trees snapped in half. A random guy comes by and stops and just gets out and was just gawking at it, amazed. I think he was just shocked by what he was witnessing. I went to go check on this home first, and I heard gas spewing out of this home. And that concerned me a little bit. I mean, it probably wouldn't explode, but you never know. So I ran to this home, and the power lines are down. You can see power poles are down across here. So I didn't want to cross the power lines. I start to yell to see if anyone maybe could hear me. I don't know. I didn't know. You know, you're kind of, a lot of adrenaline's going here, and you want to do what you can, but at the same time, you don't want to get yourself killed and become a casualty. Thankfully, I noticed emergency crews there's a cat. Watch this cat. Cat survived. I see the cat. I was surprised a black cat crossed my path. I was like, oh my God.
He's chasing the tornado.
He was. So I see emergency crews, the lights. You can't see them in the video, but they are at the top of that hill right there. So in my mind, I thought they're going to be here, coming here. I'm going to keep tracking the tornado in case it hits something else and there isn't people there right away to go check on, see if they need help. So I jump back in the car to track the tornado. Random person just driving by. And here it's starting to weaken. You can see this. It's not as fast motion. It's really expanded out. Dust is blocking the view of the main cyclone. But it's still, I mean, this is intimidating, right? And I turn back on the road here. You can look at now. You can see there's a lot of rain coming down here. Not a lot, but some rain coming down now. But I'll turn to the east here, and I get alongside this thing, and I could still hear the roar, even though you can't see it. I could still really hear that roar. And this is actually one of the moments I thought the storm looked the most beautiful, actually, with all this dust and this beautiful striations and the blackness of it. And it was obviously it was an incredible tornado. I'm grateful that I was there to witness it. But we are starting to come to the end of the chase now. Eventually, we'll get up here to where a peace officer and an RCMP officer, there's Graham and Tidham. Hey guys, Tidham. This is also a cool shot. I thought this tower burning off excess gas, I guess, was burning here, and the smoke was getting pulled into it. But still, I mean, what an incredible view, right? Stop to take in the view here. The flames, like what a shot, right? It's weakening, you hear me? So it weakens here. Eventually, ropes out, go down a little bit down the road. Oh, look at that straw falling out. So obviously it's starting to eject out, drop all its debris that I had aloft. Grass is coming down everywhere. Yeah. And that was pretty much the Didsbury. Oh. That was pretty much the Didsbury tornado in 360. Now, that's kind of the end of the presentation, but I was on one other Canadian tornado that was really good, the Scarth one in 2020, and I have 360 of that. I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing that for a minute. Yes, no?
Yes.
Do we have? We have time? Okay. Let's see, how do I get back to my videos?
That's it right there, isn't it the best?
Oh, yeah, that's it right there. Yogurt.
More yogurt. Look at you.
Yogurt's good for you. Makes you a good storm chaser. Uh-oh. Okay, so, and this one's 2020, Scarth, Manitoba. And I've got, where's she at? Well, we're moving. I've got 9 months pregnant Michaela with me, 2 days from delivery of our son Jet. And this was an incredible specimen of a tornado as well. I didn't think I'd ever see something as good as this again, and then I saw Scarth, or Didsbury. So again, another low precipitation tornado, supercell. Now, this one had more precipitation though than Didsbury. You can see it's all off to the northeast here. Incredible cut here. Blue skies everywhere else. Now this one, I had a little bit of, I moved here and I wish I had moved. I wish I had held our ground. It looked like it was coming towards us, and I wasn't chasing solo. When I chase solo, I'll take a little bit more risk. So I'd always thought that someday I want to punch in closer to one like this when I was by myself, and that's what I did with Didsbury. But in this case, I've got Michaela with me, and she's 9 months pregnant, and so we're playing it a little more safe here. Back off a little bit. But it isn't a bad decision anyway, because it gave us a beautiful view of all the storm structure here. This is another one. This one was rated EF3. It wasn't going to hit anything. It didn't hit anything at first, but then there's a farm right here. It ends up hitting a farm. And this is on the GoPro Max that I shot this one with. So I think the Insta360 actually has higher quality, better looking 360 footage, but except for that when I got real close to that debris cloud and it got kind of grainy, I think because there was so much debris in the debris cloud, it seemed to really struggle with that. But I mean, what's most important as far as my concern, or in my opinion, with storm chasing is getting good content regardless of how good of a camera resolution it is. Use whatever camera you have, even if it's a phone, even if it's an older phone or whatever, just to get amazing footage. And the 360 footage is unique, and eventually the technology will get better, but I think it's worth it to chase with a 360 camera.
You should see your power flashes pretty quick.
Oh yeah, you saw them there? This one even though we backed off and I wanted to get closer, I ended up chasing after this one a little bit on foot. Got the torpedo on top. How are we doing on time here?
Oh, you're good.
Can't
We
see.
haven't played the music or brought the hook out yet.
The what?
We haven't played the offstage music.
Oh, hook me up. Yeah, beautiful tornado here in Manitoba. This day, I actually kind of, it just didn't look like a good day. The Didsbury one stood out to me more as like a good day for chasing tornadoes. This one didn't. It looked like there was a decent risk of storms, but I didn't expect to see this tornado. I sat around at home until the last minute, and I told Michelle, I was like, well, I guess we should head to the west. And we actually started off a little further west. You could see this line here. It was like a Pacific front came through, and I was watching further to the south near Melita, Manitoba, and we actually had some towers go up. And the whole time we saw this supercell off to the northwest as it came across the border from Saskatchewan into Manitoba. Beautiful anvil on it, big top, crisp top. But I was kind of I didn't want to go that far if I didn't have to, and so we played to the south first, and eventually those storms started dying, and I told Michelle, we're going to look like fools if we don't get on this storm. And we would have looked like fools if we didn't get on the storm with this tornado right here. Big difference from this storm in Didsbury was unfortunately 2 kids were killed by this tornado. I've watched this 360 video and over again, trying to see if I ever saw them drive by, but they and another man parked at this farm, I guess for safety, and got hit by the tornado. We eventually drive back to the farm, and we found the man upside down in his SUV on the left side of the road, and he was alive, injured and trapped. And we talked, comforted him and called 911. We had no idea the 2 kids had been there as well, and they were in a truck off to the right of the road, and they were unfortunately. Oh, hold on.
Right at the serious point of the talk.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they were the RCMP did a walk through the field and found them, and they were found deceased. Unfortunately, 2 kids they just graduated from high school from Melita, and we don't know if they were trying to chase a storm or just panicked or what. And it's killed me for, like I said, I've tried to figure out like, man, is there something I could have done? Could I have seen them and tried to stop them? But I don't. I think they came from the north.
Coming from
From the north.
They're coming from Bird. They just picked up their puppy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So is that to the north from here?
You're looking north right
Yeah.
now. So they came from the other side. 'Cause I was
Oh,
going south.
so they had to have passed me then when we were parked, because we started off north of the farm and then dropped to the south once we saw the tornado start.
But they were coming from the north. They
Oh,
waited
okay.
Until the tornado was already started, so you were south of the farm already.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so that's why I never saw them, and I've kind of thought, man, if they came from the north, I kind of
No, there was
wish I hadn't moved and I could have flagged them down or something, but
nothing you could have done.
yeah, it really sucks. So that's one of the, whoa, I'm not even looking at you guys. Back to reality. That's one of the conflicts of storm chasing, right? Like we love seeing these beautiful storms, and we like to be out there and witness them, and it's important to report on what we're seeing and try and get those warnings out. And it sucks that the thing that we like and love sometimes takes people's lives and destroys their homes and stuff. So, but that's we got to do what we can and keep going out there and going through it, and that's life, I guess. Sometimes it sucks, and so anyway, that's kind of my presentation. I love storm chasing. I love weather, and I hope I know everybody else here really loves it too. So glad you all are here, and thanks for having me, Curtis and Tracy. That's it. I was gonna say if anybody had any questions too,
Aaron, I have
Yeah.
a quick question. With the placement of the camera, where do you find is the best spot to have it? Because I see that it's up towards the front of the vehicle.
Yeah, so I like to keep it towards the front, and with the current 360 cameras, you've got lenses on either side. So what I tend to do is I place my lenses going off to the side of the camera. Obviously, you've got 360-degree footage. There's a stitch going to be in the middle, right? So I want to point that stitch towards the front because I've got a dash cam going as well. So if there's anything good there, I'll get the dash cam footage. But also rocks or bugs. I don't want them hitting the lenses, so I'd like to point them off to the sides to avoid that. Raindrops as well. You're still going to get raindrops and stuff on the lenses, but a little less likelihood with the lenses pointing off to the side. So yeah, so towards the front, strap it down with the suction cup, tether it down to whatever. Sometimes if I got a rental car, I'll just run it through the door and strap it to the oh-shit bar in the car. But yeah. Yeah.
What's the least favorite place you've ever chased, like a specific area?
Least favorite. The least favorite, I mean, it's got to be Dixie Alley. It's, I like the challenge of it, but, what I like about storm chasing is the beauty of the storms and seeing amazing sights and stuff, right? And you don't really see that in Dixie Alley. They're grungy storms. Occasionally you get some photogenic tornadoes there, but those things are few and far between, right? Like maybe once every 5 to 10 years you get something that's photogenic in Dixie Alley. So by far it would be Dixie Alley. Other spots, it depends on, so obviously, when I'm out in the field, eventually, when I chased Didsbury, I didn't even look at radar at all once I was on the storm. I'm going completely visual. So chasing anywhere where you got bad cell signal can suck, right? Because Obviously, if you're not on a storm yet and you're trying to track down storms, you're gonna have to use, you can see towers and stuff visually, but yeah, so Dixie Alley, bad cell service areas like the Big Bend of Texas, the Nebraska Sandhills, there's like a 40-mile gap there where there's no cell service. But that's pretty much it as far as East Coast. Like, I don't want to chase on the East Coast. I mean, that's just, there's too many people and too much population. It's really hard again, just like Dixie Alley. My favorite place to chase is actually the high plains, anywhere from, not really Colorado because all the traffic, but I love it up here in Alberta, the foothills, down through Montana into Wyoming. It's just bliss to me. I love the prairie, I love the mountains, and I love storms, and they all kind of come together there. It's a perfect little marriage. Yeah.
Scarth tornado. So after the fact, after there happen to be those fatalities, what is there for recovery, or like for you, for example, just having gone through it, and honestly, there's probably nothing that you could have done, but it impacts you, obviously. But you know, till your next storm chase, how are you sort of dealing with that?
I mean, it's, to me, again, like storm chasing is a mission, right? Like, you know, I look at myself, I wish I'd have lived like in the Old West or medieval times, and I was like a knight chasing dragons and stuff, but that we don't. We got cars like Subarus with LOL written on the side of them, so the tornado's my dragon, and that's my mission, is to get out there and track these things down and get that warning out and get those visuals and tell a story, trying to inspire people to want to get out there and not just sit at home and watch TV or play video games, right? Like, get out there and experience Mother Nature. You know, I didn't always get out and be as adventurous as I was. I wanted to be adventurous, but you know, I think at first people are it's a little scary, right, to get out and expand your horizons. But over time, you know, you get a little further out, just progress your chasing and go further, and eventually you're going from Texas to Canada and chasing anywhere from the West Coast to the East Coast, Canada down to Mexico. And so yeah, it's a mission, right? Like, and it really sucks when bad stuff happens, but you know, we play an important role out there. Whether some people don't, you know, I know there's some folks in media or sometimes in the academic science part of meteorology, like sometimes some of those people look down on storm chasing, I think, for whatever reason. To each their own. Everybody's got their own opinion, but I think we're important out there. And you know, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm a storm chaser that uses meteorology to try and track down tornadoes, and I love that, and I'm going to keep doing that.
Out of that, there was an iconic, I call it an iconic photo of you and your wife.
Yeah.
I think scrambling to get back to the vehicle or getting out of the vehicle. I always thought, you know, if there's another tornado when we get to come out, that should be the cover.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Jordan Crothers, so he was on the Scarth tornado. Yeah, we passed him in his Hummer when we were repositioning, and I blasted past him, and I was honking my horn like I did at Graham and Tatum because I was excited to see him. And I think I actually scared him a little bit, and he jumped in his car and moved too. Because he didn't have, I mean, maybe he thought he had to move, because I thought we had to move, but we ended up not having to move. Yeah, I had a little bit of regrets of that storm. I wish I could have gotten a little closer. I wish I actually, with the Didsbury tornado, so I feel like the video doesn't do it justice, but in person I was up really close to it, right? And I was like, holy crap, I got back up. And then I watched the video and I'm like, man, I should have got closer. So that's an important lesson though, because you know, if you want to get closer to tornadoes, like, don't start off trying to get closer to tornadoes. I didn't start off getting closer to that close to tornadoes. I started off way out, watching the structure and learning the storms, and then I slowly worked my way to getting closer. You know, I'd watch my video, I'd watch what I did, like a sports player does, watching, you know, the post-game analysis of themselves playing. How could they be better? Well, I do that with my videos. Like, how could I be better at storm chasing? How can I get closer? And I just slowly worked my way up to getting close like that. And so now, like, you know, I never felt, when I got close to that Didsbury tornado, I never really felt in danger, because I've just, from experience of being close to tornadoes, I didn't feel in danger at all, right? I didn't have zero fear at that point. Now I backed up because I thought, let's not be, I do have a wife and kid to get back home to, so I don't want to get killed. But yeah, I wish I would have got just a little bit closer. No more questions? All right, well, thanks everybody. Hi, David.
How are you?
Let me set this down so I can shake your hand.
I just want to thank you for that photo that you sent to my
Yeah, you're welcome. I
That was
told.
a really nice gesture.
Oh, no problem. I told Miss Shayla, I go, oh, David Spence is here. I'm like, didn't we send him a photo?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, the lighting with the sunflower field.
No, it was the Scarth.
Oh, it was the Scarth one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
it's a
really
pleasure to meet
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah, no problem.
I should have brought it with me and got you to sign it.
Yeah, you should. Well, I can send you another one. Or you can send it to me. I'll sign it if you want. But yeah, thanks for coming out.
It's hanging up in my home office.
Oh, awesome.
See it every day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll send you one at Didsbury if you want.
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's stressing me out.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to replace it. Did my live stream die? No. Oh, it kept going. Sweet. All right, I'll end it now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks. Well, I was trying to be a little bit
I
entertaining.
don't think I've met you. Melissa Peterson.
Oh, nice to meet you.
For Environment Canada.
Okay.
I know, dude.
You're gonna have to slip into something about Oculus at home.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched.
You watched it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was like the spokesperson for ECCC for the Scarth event.
Okay.
And so like as soon as you publish that, I'm like, I need to watch this thing. Like,
Yeah.
also didn't expect it that day.
Yeah,
I
no,
was like,
I know.
storms, yes, that.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
What is this?
Exactly.
Nonsense.
Yeah, I expected tornadoes, a good chance of tornadoes on the Didsbury day, but yeah, Scarth.
Yeah,
was,
Didsbury was a different thing. So yeah, the Scarth was
Yeah, like,
kind of
I-
like out of left field. Like, oh my god, this thing's gonna produce.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, like I said, I begrudgingly, I'm like, well, I guess let's go west and see what happens. Yeah, out of nowhere.
That was